Hello everybody and welcome back. Next up I want to give you a quick rundown or a quick review of the Garmin Vivoactive 3. As opposed to giving you all the technical specs, I would prefer to give you a rundown on what you can expect on the day-to-day with a watch like this. I had the original Vivoactive, the square watch. I loved it. Battery would last upwards of a week plus, even while using it for GPS runs. And I think that this is a very comparable watch. I think that it's a great upgrade. And it's definitely a watch that you're going to get at close to a week of use out of, even if you're an active individual. So straight out of the box, you're going to get the Garmin charger, which is not going to be a charger like a USB Type-C or micro USB charger, but it has a satisfying click when plugged into the watch itself. So it definitely is very, very secure as opposed to the magnetic backing on the original Vivoactive. You will have your directions for use and user support manual. Again, the box itself, not much special there. The watch itself, I really think that this is probably one of the best picks for a smartwatch, depending on what you actually need it for. So looking at the back, you'll notice the heart rate monitor or heart rate sensor is almost always engaged, especially when the watch is moving. You'll have the charging port, and then you can also see the metal clasps for taking the watch bands off are upgraded, so instead of pushing a pin in on the side, you can actually reach a fingernail in and push over, and it'll allow you to take the watch bands off and replace them as needed. Now, the watch itself has a very, very solid feel to it, and it has quite a few upgrades and features really that I wanted from the original Vivoactive. Straight out of the box, this will turn the backlight on anytime you bring the watch towards you. But just like the original Vivoactive, it has an always-on display that allows you to see the screen in low light without the backlight at all. So day-to-day, you can disable that feature, and what I've done is the backlight only turns on when I press the screen, as opposed to the original Vivoactive where you had to press a button on the side. I've noticed that in most settings, aside from really when it's pitch dark, you can see the screen to a degree. The quality on the screen is also very, very nice. I'm running one of the aftermarket screens or one of the aftermarket watch faces, and then you have quite a few options on the watch itself. Now, one of the cool things about the new Vivoactive, there's a swipe or scroll bar right here. It is a capacitive touch, so when you swipe up, it'll actually allow you to go through your various notifications. Now, when the watch is wet, if you're running, if you're sweating, if you're in the shower, this will not work, or it will not work as well, which is to be expected. The watch itself, I really think that it just shines in day-to-day use. It is not as quick and responsive. I think that watches in this category are designed to be more rugged, and really the fact that it does everything it does is, I think, impressive in and of itself. So it will display text messages, calendar invites. It is equipped with Garmin Pay as well. And by long pressing on the home screen, you can choose between various watch faces, clocks, history, stats, and settings. So if you go up to watch faces, you can scroll through pre-installed watch faces, or if you download Garmin IQ or the Garmin store, it will allow you to choose new watch faces, and you will simply click to select a new watch face, and you can apply, customize, or remove. Swiping from the left all the way to the right will essentially act as the back button. So when you press the watch button itself with a single press, you have your activity options. I've pre-selected mine to where you have treadmill, strength, run, cardio, elliptical, stair stepper, row and door, which are pretty much going to be the only things I would use it for. But you do have the option to select the button at the bottom and then run through additional activities that you may want to add. I love this feature. I've noticed that it is incredibly accurate as far as the activity tracking itself. The heart rate monitor is great, and I was concerned that was going to reduce the battery, but this watch is a little thicker than the Vivoactive, so it provides a pretty similar battery life. I can pretty much run from Sunday night, if I charge it, through to Saturday, and that would include ideally about 10 to 15 miles running outdoor with GPS, and between 3 and 4 workouts with the strength mode selected, and just normal day-to-day use without Bluetooth. So you can get pretty close to an entire week of use out of this watch. It will track all of those activities, but you do have another option. When you press and hold the button right here, you can turn it off. You can also lock the screen, which is a feature that I love. If you're like me and you've tried to do obstacle course races with any of the other watches like the original Vivoactive, it's very easy to accidentally press something or stop the activity in the middle. So this makes sure that in order to unlock the screen, it will actually give you a command and tell you once you select it, you need to either specifically press on this button or maybe even a long press on the screen to disable that feature. It has an option for the brightness, Bluetooth, sleep mode, like theater mode, essentially just turning off notifications, the GPS selection, or in this case, really just detecting your location. If you wanted to go for a run, you can also just select the run option. That does bring up one concern. With the original Vivoactive, the GPS tracking was almost instantaneous for me. With this, I've noticed that it takes between 5 and 10 seconds if I'm not moving, but if I turn on the GPS for running, it can take sometimes a minute or two to track my location if I'm walking. So this, once your location has been tracked, it usually keeps good lock, but it's just that initial tracking that tends to be a little bit problematic. Really, the only other feature that would be worth noting is the Garmin Pay or Garmin Wallet. I've not added a card, but essentially by selecting this, when you've added a credit card, you can then touch any payment device that would allow you to pay with your phone or Apple Pay, Samsung Pay. Essentially, this is Garmin's equivalent of the Smart Pay system. So by pressing that, you would pull up your credit card and then touch a credit card reader in a store, and it would allow you to pay as opposed to using the physical card itself. So again, overall, there's quite a few different features in the watch. When you hold press on the screen, you can see your workout history, your stats, and there's quite a few settings. You can add new activities and new applications from the Garmin store. There are different widgets that you can add, so it gives you tracking for the number of stairs you go up and down, your calories, your stress levels. It has different watch faces, different sensors you can add, settings for your phone, your user profile where you select your height, weight, and things of that nature, specifics for activity tracking, and then system settings, which can be your model number, what specific update you're on. These do not update very frequently. I probably get one update every other month, if that. So overall, I think that this is a very, very solid product. One concern I had with the original Vivoactive is the band itself, when I was wearing it, ripped, and I probably went through 3 or 4 others just trying to find one that would last. It's this plastic product, and it felt like it dried out and just cracked. I've been using this for quite some time now, and I have no issues or concerns, no scratches. There's a little bit of scratching around the chrome bezel, but without a screen protector, I have not had any chips or anything like that. So again, overall, I think it's a great watch. You can do research to see what other features and functions you can add, as it is a smartwatch, but it is not going to operate at the same caliber or at the same level as, let's just say, the Apple Watch with all of the more complex programs. This is also not the music edition, so it does not have the additional storage. So it's not going to allow you to store your music and then use additional Bluetooth earbuds. But because of that, it is going to be a slightly smaller profile. And again, with really all of the additional notifications that you would get. So when you're hooked to your phone, it'll tell you who's calling, your calendar, invites, your text messages, Facebook notifications. So really almost all of your applications will sync to this watch. The only really drawback, I would say, is this doesn't really feel like a true smartwatch due to the speed that it operates. So day-to-day use is great if you're not someone who uses all of the applications but wants a simple watch that doesn't need to be charged every night. Once you start to use it frequently, you'll start to notice often there can be a bit of a delay between swiping and actually getting to the next application. So when you're scrolling from the home screen, it'll take you through your pre-selected widgets. But when you're actually using the phone or the watch itself, you'll start to notice that it seems to have a little bit of a hiccup in between different applications. But it is much smoother than the original Vivoactive. So I think that they are really listening. It seems like all the feedback or concerns that I had from the original were taken care of in this model. So again, overall, if you want a very traditional watch that I believe this one is up to 50 meters, you can submerge up to 50 meters in water, but if you want a truly rugged watch that will track your runs and your workouts, your heart rate, and allow you general applications and notifications, I would highly recommend this. It usually goes between $130 on sale to $200. It really just depends on the sale price. I know that there is a newer Vivoactive 4 model out at this point, so it really the price is probably going to continue to vary. I would highly recommend this though overall, if not the Vivoactive 4. But if you have any questions about the watch, then feel free to drop them in the comment box below, and please don't forget to like and subscribe, and check back in later for more videos.